Good morning, afternoon, evening, citizens of an Alderaan and across our beloved empire. It's great to be in the empire today and seeing each and every one of you guys here today. We got an interesting little video, if you ask me. Now, it might not be the most fireworks and excitement, but this video, I think, is going to be incredibly important. We're going to be talking about what's some tools, guides, that some would consider borderline cheating, things that are going to make your life easier, access to info to make your modding game even better, and even a way to already see what your opponent's going to do before they even do it in Grand Arena. We got 5 amazing resources I want to put on your radar. We did this a couple years ago, but over the time, there's been a couple of interesting tools that has popped up, and why don't we just get right into the action right away? The first tool I want to talk about today, I don't use this one too much, but it's in regards to scouting out your opponent's roster in a more scientific manner. And that first tool we're going to talk about is called Omega Bot. And you're looking at some pretty wild stuff right now. Now, I'm more of a fast and loose player. I like to play off the cuff. That's just my play style when it comes to Grand Arena. But if you're someone that likes to scout your opponent, you like to browse through their history, but you wish there was more of a way to kind of get some conglomerate data to kind of see from a macro perspective the tendencies of your opponents. What teams do they tend to place on defense? What do they use on offense? What do they tend to struggle against? What defense of theirs are usually the most successful? What time of day do they attack? What do they usually use as counters? Well, Megabot is, it's a powerful tool that combines all that data in just a few small infographics. You're seeing, for example, the analysis did on me for the past 2 cycles, the past 2 weeks of Grand Arena. Let me show you a few things here. So top part of this graph right here, and I'll leave links down below to all these tools if you want to check them out. Actually, the developer for this bot did a great Reddit post. I've known about this tool it's been around for I think about a year or something like that, but it's turned into a pretty robust tool that I think you guys are going to want to check on. I believe this is a free tool as well. I got it for free without talking to the developer, so pretty sure this is the free tool that you can scout your opponent. You type in scout, and then you go ahead, type in the ally code of the opponent you're going to face. And here's my roster, for example. It shows the defense I tend to play. Now, as you guys know from my play style, since I'm so open Komodo, I'm probably the most public-facing person when it comes to Grand Arena. I'm all over the place, so things like this don't give you an exact one-to-one on what I'm about to do for the upcoming Grand Arena. I'm always mixing things up, but most people are kind of sticking to a rhythm. They get comfortable with certain counters, certain teams they like to use. So, for example, on defense, it shows that pretty much Galactic Legends Ray was my most used team I placed on defense, and that is true. I don't really bring Ray on offense. Maybe I will next time, but Ray is so good on defense. And as you can see, it shows the number of times people had to go up against my Ray. My Ray was the most difficult thing for most of my opponents to fight. Then you got this little color coding over here that shows how many timed out, how many quit, how many losses there were, how many wins there were, and how good was that one, how many banners did they end up getting. And as you see against that Ray, not a lot of opponents the past 2 weeks have been doing too well up against the Ray. Iden Versio, another very common team that I placed, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna probably place it on defense for a little bit longer because it's a crazy defensive team. You can see how many times my opponents have been struggling against, and not a lot of people one-shotting Iden Versio, Galactic Legends, Lord Vader. You can see how that works. So this is some of my most popular stuff that I normally place in defense. And I guess if you're looking at this, you could say, all right, he doesn't really play Grievous, Commander Luke, Darth Revan on defense. All right, so you can kind of make a mental plan, get prepared for what the tendencies of your opponent might be, what defense they're going to save, and what do you need to bring for offense to be prepared for what's to come. Moving down the list a bit more, this really just shows how all over the place I am with what I use on offense and defense. It's going to be hard to pinpoint what someone like me does, but there, it shows what I tend to use on offense. And it shows you, all right, when did we one-shot? When did we two-shot? This is not perfect in the sense of, you kind of have to be pragmatic when you're looking at this. So, for example, you're looking at this stuff, and you might be saying, oh, they're probably weeding out, like, cooldowns or something. That's why you got random things like, for example, let's see, Aurora Lead. Aurora Lead's not that important, but it's probably me weeding out stuff. So, again, you're kind of seeing what does your opponent tend to save for the offensive, and how good are they using those particular offensive teams. And then it shows what teams that I face, what teams that I struggle against. My biggest complication the past 2 weeks has been Iden and Galactic Legends Ray for the most part. But still, nonetheless, we've been getting wins upon wins upon wins upon wins upon wins. But still, nonetheless, you could say, all right, my opponent's going to tend to struggle with these type of teams out there. So maybe I should place it down. So, for example, if I saw my opponent struggling a lot with Ray, I'm going to put Ray on defense. to kind of give them a hard time. And there's some other mishmash things showing what type of Omicrons your opponent has, the tendency of when they attack, which is this is usually when I start streaming my Grand Arena. And then it also shows you a myriad of other data, and some of it is gated behind a Patreon subscription if you want to get even more intel on the exact details of how they counter X, Y, or Z. So this is brought to you by OmegaBot. There's links right there. I'll leave links down below as well to check out some of these amazing resources. So this is one that some people consider to be borderline cheating. I just think it's a smart bot that takes already public-facing data and puts it more into a readable format and looking at it from a macro perspective, because really data at the end of the day is really key. It's something I don't normally use because, one, you know, where I play, people like to mix things up, and two, I like the element of surprise because I'm not going to do the same thing over and over again, and I like to kind of just mix things up a little bit. But nonetheless, if you're serious about Grand Arena, people use this as like a Bible where they're studying. I don't study for Grand Arena. I get in there, I dominate no matter what. I got the tactile scanners to handle all the heat. Next resource I want to talk about. This one's pretty staple. This one everyone should have. These are all bookmarks that you should be making. Again, links down below, smgoh.gg. Now, most people know what this is. Originally, it started off as just a database for all the characters, seeing what speeds they have, kind of looking more into the mechanics. It has turned out to be a really fully fleshed, public-facing, free resource that everyone should have. I actually know that the co-developer that started this up, they're in my arena shard. Big shout out to Sep. Met him at one time EA Play a couple years ago. Fantastic person. There's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, there's a lot of data with the ships, character data, looking at how many Gear 13s are. Darth Vader's the most popular Gear 13 that exists out there. It shows you Relic 9 data, showing you how many relics, the relic images, the relic comparison, relic player data, how many Relic 9s are out there. So we all know that. The thing that's really popular, we don't need to talk too much about it, is that one, it's got Grand Arena tools to help you figure out what best way to use your team that you have, what counters exist out there. So that's kind of complements what you see here. If you know where your opponent's going to place these defenses, you can do research on what to bring for a particular situation. That's where you click in this GAC tab, and there's a lot of stuff here. You got your Grand Arena Championship counters for 5v5. We're currently in a 5v5 situation here, so if you click on that right here, look at this. All right, if you see Mon Mothma, let's go click on that. Mon Mothma counters. All right, you got Sith Eternal, Imperial Troopers, Commander Luke Skywalker, Sith Eternal Solo, Bad Batch. You're seeing a lot of different things. And if you want to kind of filter it, like let's say you're looking at a particular team. You don't care about the non-Kyle Katarn things. What you can do is just click on Kyle Katarn, and it's going to filter out the rest of the data and only look at teams that had Kyle Katarn. Let's say I want teams that had Kyle Katarn as well as Cara Dune. I click on that. It's filtering it even more. Let's say I only want to see teams that have Hoth Rebel Scout and POW. There we go. So now you're seeing all this data that's specific to maybe a team that you're about to fight in Grand Arena. This is the most popular Grand Arena team. Here's all the counters we have. We have a Vader, Mara Jade, and Palpatine, Shakti, Bad Batch. That's kind of interesting right there. 74 people apparently have done it. Darth Revan, Gas. That's overkill. Powerful information that we have here. Let's go ahead and take a look at who to attack. So let's say you have a Mon Mothma on offense. What can you use her for on the offensive side? So when you click on that, it kind of shows you what you can tend to use them with. So for example, you know, using her up against Newt, I've done it in the past. Definitely feasible. If you have General Grievous, what's his best matchups? Let's go ahead and click on that. You can kind of see here, you know, Geonosians. Heck, some people can make it work up against Palpatine, which I've done in the past. You can also adjust the win rate. So if you want something with a bit bigger margin, you can kind of see what other ways people are utilizing them. So another fantastic way to use it. More recently, they've added a few things in regards to top performing squad. What are the best offensive teams? The best defensive teams? How many battles are they holding? How many banners are they stealing? Which ones are most effective on offense? This is nothing completely new. This part's been kind of around for a while. Then we have the GAC leaderboard, which I believe you can see me truly right around both right there. Don't want to brag too much. Don't want to brag too much. I mean, technically it was number 2 at one point, but then Gary is to blame for why we're down to 29 in the world. I know, it's horrible. Horrible. I don't know how I can bear it being number 29 in the entire galaxy and Galaxy Heroes, but this is something that I also want to talk about. I get this question so much, and the data is right there. It's literally at your fingertips for free. I get this question so much asking, Arnold, how do I mod X, Y, or Z character? Well, guess what? This has all your answers here. First, we have this tab over on the left-hand side that shows you the counters to it, who to use against. If you have item version, who can you use her up against? You got the data for the gear. This character needs a top player data. Like, let's see what the fastest item version. The fastest item version out there is 332 speed. But what I want to talk about are the mods. And look at the first tab is best mods. Let's click on that, and you get a fantastic breakdown So if you're wondering what the best mods are for Captain Rex, SWGH.GG, what it has that no other video can possibly do is it's going to keep relevant data that's constantly updating naturally. This data is refreshing every 24 hours. Or if I make a video on how to mod Iden Versio, it's going to be outdated 3 months from now. I can guarantee you something's going to change with Iden Versio or Galactic Legend. You know how many times we've remodded Supreme Leader Kyle Ren over the days? The guide I made back then for Supreme Leader Kyle Ren is not relevant now. It was relevant then, it's not now. Data changes from a day-to-day basis. And as you see here, it's showing you the best mod setup. What sets should you use? Crit damage and potency seems to be the most popular one. What primary should you be shooting for? And here you go, you got other mod sets. So you got health and speed, you got speed and potency, you got health, you got crit chance and crit damage, showing you the most popular ways to use these primaries. Critical damage is the most popular for the triangle, but offense running at number 2 most popular. So anytime you're running a situation where you just don't quite know how you want to mod a specific character, this is going to be incredibly important to give you quick mod info that's showing you the most up-to-date recent data that's conglomerating everything that's from the best players in the game. This is basically the best mod advice from the best players combined. Like, for example, I run speed and potency on my pit. That's the most popular way to be running them. And again, breaking down exactly what you need at the end of the day. So another powerful use, mods. Grand Arena, yes, the characters are important, the gear is important. Mods, in my opinion, are easily 30 to 40%, maybe even more, of a character's viability. I'd rather have better mods than more Relic 8s and 7s. Think about that. So that's the next tool that we're going to leave. This was a classic. SVG8.GG has been around for quite a while. Next resource, arguably an unofficial extension of Galaxy. I'm surprised Galaxy has not bought this app, Hot Utils. Last year, we made a video. We actually interviewed the developer of this app, Hot Sauce. Fantastic person. I'll leave a link in the top right-hand corner if you want to kind of see them kind of breaking down the tool with me. This literally, it's an unofficial extension of Galaxy of Heroes. It does pretty much everything. Opens up your bronze packs. I did a 4 million ally points bronzium pack opening last year. I think it was like 16,000 packs that were opened in like 3 minutes. So if you're wondering why don't we have a multi-bronzium pack opener, CG knows about this tool. It's probably because someone already made it. So you got that. You got, for example, a farming calculator. If you're trying to guess, if you do X amount of refreshes, how long would it take to get an X, Y, or Z Galactic Legend or a particular character? It's got a GAC comparison tool, not quite as robust as Omega Bot that we showed a little bit earlier, but for example, it can show you what their bracket's looking like for the particular week. Now, you probably have seen this graphic. It's rendering right now in a few short moments. Actually, it's the compare. My bad. Let's go to compare real quick. This graphic right here, it's kind of interesting. So right now it's pulling up all the players that are in my upcoming week, which is I got Dingo, we got Fatal, Synergy, one of my guildmates is also in there. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all their stats and compare it and kind of show you how you kind of stack up against them. For example, we're going up against Dingo. So I'm going to filter this out. How about we just go filter this out, and it's going to really show you how your roster shines or lacks the shine compared to others. So we're about to go up against a 10.6 million GP account. I believe this is the 20th or so biggest account in Galaxy. There's a Dingo. They have mods up the wazoo, over 1,300 6-stat mods, which is absolutely absurd. Tons of speed secondaries. This account is loaded. But it's going to show you how does your roster kind of stack up against them. So like it shows where I succeed compared to them. Well, not in that many regards. It's definitely a big account that we're going up against, but you know, it's just another cakewalk in the park for someone like me. So another fantastic element of this. Biggest thing, the most popular thing is managing mods. It's unfortunate CG does not want to do any sort of mod management. But right here, I've made a video about this. We're not going to go in depth. Check out that earlier video that I referenced here. Basically, you can mass level, mass delete, filter mods, mass slice mods, and a click of a finger. Not having to spend hours, taking hours of work and condensing it into pure minutes. Right here, I'm upgrading. I'm just upgrading all my low-level mods to expose all the secondaries in a few short seconds, and I can just easily clean out the ones I don't want, slice of the ones I do want. The mod aspect is the most important thing about this tool. CG needs to implement this tool right now. Chances are they're not going to, because this person's already doing it. Also, saving your loadouts. Before I do a stream for testing, I save my mods, mess my mods up, and after I'm done streaming, I click a button and it moves all my mods back into the original place. Or I like to sometimes make templates for specific missions out there, putting my best mods on a particular team and then putting them back when I'm done. This makes, again, moving mods around so much more manageable. And there's a lot of other stuff. There's conquest tools to help you swap data disks, give you estimates of how much longer you're going to need. There's territory war help, territory battle tools for guild leaders out there. This, unlike the other tools, is a paid subscription. You have to go through their Patreon, but if you're someone that spends money in Galaxy of Heroes, the $10 for this tool is literally the best $10 you could possibly spend when it comes to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Last tool, it's more of a quality of life tool. I wish there was notifications in game that said, hey, your opponent's attacking. Your opponent got 64 banners up against X, Y, or Z team. Well, we kind of got a tool like that. It's called Prime Bot. It's more of a Discord tool. And basically, I have it watch my opponent, and as my opponent attacks, it notifies me saying, hey, your opponent got 64 banners. Only downside is it doesn't tell you what team it was, but you kind of can see a track record. All right, this is how my opponent's faring up. This is how many banners they're getting in general crossboard. Now, you could just sit, watch your Grand Arena while they attack, and then you can see what their score was, and you can kind of keep mental note. All right, they got that many banners here or there. This is the quality of life that Galaxy Heroes needs, where it shows you next to the team how many banners an opponent got. Of course, we got swgoh.gg that also, as you guys probably know, has a Grand Arena history functionality that shows you what the actual teams that were being used and how many banners they ended up getting. But, you know, this it's a little bit nicer because it's more real time, whereas you don't have to wait for swgoh.gg to update their data to show the battle logs up against your defense. And really, those are the 5 most important tools that I feel like exist out there. Now, of course, there's the forums, there's Reddit, but in terms of tools that are going to make you a better player, make your research a lot more streamlined, or even quality of life stuff, that's going to make your life a lot easier. And of course, there are so many other tools. And I will leave a link down below. We actually have an unofficial wiki page for Galaxy Heroes. It's going to list tons of other Discord servers out there. Like, if you want to get into a Discord server, you want to get crazy at the Sith Lords that love Sith modding and theory crafting, there's a server for that. There's a Scoundrels Discord server. There's a bunch of other tools that we didn't even mention, guild recruitments that exist out there, content creator Discord servers, and a variety of the other bots that we referenced today, for example, like Hot Utils. There are a lot of fantastic tools in Galaxy Heroes. Hopefully some of these are new to some of you guys, whether trying to up your Grand Arena research game, whether trying to do your mod research a little bit better, whether trying to make your quality of life better with mod management, bronze pack openings. Hopefully you're gonna get something out of this video. Maybe not as exciting as some other videos, but nonetheless, I feel like this is valuable information that every Galaxy Heroes player needs to know if they truly want to be some of the very best players that exist out there. Leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember, till next time, it's great to be in the Empire today.